Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Grandma Jeannie's Creations, and today I am going to sew this quilted tote bag. Now there's no pattern for this tote bag, but it is very easy and quick to put together. I quilted this with the diamond pattern. I think that's what it's called, the diamond pattern. I have not really quilted much in my life before, so this is just a very beginner thing that I learned from watching a couple of YouTube videos. So if I did something wrong, please put it in the comments and let me know, but please be kind when you do that. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I have gotten several new subscribers, and my views have gone up considerably, so I thank you for that. People are watching my older videos, though. I hope you start watching my newer ones. So this is just a basic tote. It's quick and easy. I didn't put any pockets inside. I just put a simple lining in there. So you can sew along with me, or you can just watch the video, whichever you prefer to do. So let's get sewing, everyone. So I'm going to show you how I prepped my fabric and all of that. I'm just a beginner quilter, so if I make mistakes, I make mistakes. Email me or put it in the comments on giving me advice on what to do. But first, I ironed my fabric. I steam ironed it so it would pre-shrink, because I watched a couple of videos to see what I did. I didn't want to wash my fabric, so I steam ironed it to pre-shrink it. Then I bought a quilting ruler. It's a 5x5 square, and I cut my pieces out according to that. So a 5x5 square is what, a charm, like a charm pack? Is that what it's called, the charm pack? So each one is 5x5. I cut out 6 pieces each, I believe, of each different color. You can do different colors. You can get into your scrap bin and put all different kinds of fabric together, but this is what I had some lavender and purple that was left over from my granddaughter's patchwork hoodie that I made her, so I decided I would use that up. So I cut my pieces out. Then I laid them out according to how I wanted my design to look. You don't have to do your design like this. You can do it either way, any way you want to do it. It took me probably, I would say 45 minutes to decide how I wanted it, because I laid it out one way and it looked okay, but then I wasn't really happy with it. So then I laid it out several different ways. So just lay it out on your mat. Now I am making my piece so I can have about a 13-inch wide by 14-inch tall tote bag. If you want a larger bag, you're going to have to figure out how many squares you're going to need and how to lay it out to make it that size. Now, this is measuring out to be 20 inches by 30 inches. 30 inches? Yeah, 30 inches. 20 inches by 30 inches is what my piece is kind of going to be after I sew everything together. It's probably going to be a little bit smaller, but it lays out to that. I am going to pick these up on how I want to make my rows, and then we will go into my sewing room, or my little room where I have it's kind of my whatnot room now. I've got my domestic in there, and I'm gonna finally get a chance to use my new Janome on camera. I've had it for about a month and a half. And I've been playing around with it. It's one of those that you just push a button and it sews on its own. It's kind of intimidating. And I keep wanting to use my foot pedal or my knee pedal for using my industrial. So this ought to be fun. I got rid of my Janome HD 3000. I sold that. And I got, what did I get? I can't remember what I got. I'll have to look when we get in there. But we will go into the other room and we will sew these together. This is kind of a catch-all room right now. So this is a Janome 4120 QDC. Able to. Okay, so we're gonna turn around, and I got the straight stitch already set. I got the foot that I'm gonna use. Increase my thread to 3. Do I want a quilting? No, I don't want a quilting foot on there yet. Okay, so the first thing I do is I'm going to sew these two pieces together. And I already have my 1/4 inch set. You don't want to go by the 1/4 inch. Now, this is what I got from watching quilting videos. They said you don't want to go by a 1/4 inch that your machine is marked, because it's not always a true 1/4 inch. So what you want to do is you want to grab a scrap of material, and you want to kind of set your 1/4 inch. Take a marker. I put 2 pieces of material together. I already did it earlier, but I'm going to show you. 2 pieces of material together. Well, I'll just show you on the one I already did. Then I measured a 1/4 inch and drew a line. And then I just stitched on there, and I watched to see where my fabric was hitting on my machine. And it is like a hair over a 1/4 inch. So then I measured it again after I stitched it, and it says a 1/4 inch. So I know that my true 1/4 inch is a smidgen over to the right of that 1/4 inch mark that they have marked on there. So then I put this tape that I got, I think I got this on either Will Walk or, yeah, I think it was Will Walk when I ordered my, yes, because I ordered my double-sided tape, and I saw this, and it was the same thing that the girl was using on the video that I watched. So it's paper tape. It comes off really good. It doesn't leave a sticky residue, and I just put it down there to mark where my 1/4 inch is. That way I know that my stitching, if I follow that line, it's going to be cohesive throughout. So what I do is I butt it up against that paper. Let's see if you can bring it closer here. That wasn't very, well, we'll see what happens. So I turn this on, and it just sews. It goes all by itself. I can make it go faster or slower. Right now I'm going to go, oops, no fabric, got it. do my knot. And release. And I don't use my cutter. I don't know why. I haven't gotten comfortable with that yet. So then I'm going to measure this. I'm going to remeasure it. And it's 1/4 of an inch. Yay! This one. So I have my pieces laid back out on the cutting table the way that they're going, the way that I want them. Ooh. That's how I'm going to want them. And I'm going to pull each row off at a time and iron them or press them. So I'm going to grab this first one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these off later, these strings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press this row to my right, So what you want to do is you want to set the seam. Then you want to press it to the right. Set the seam. Press it to the right. And just keep doing that. Whoop. Is my... it's on. What is that doing that for? There we go. Set the seam. Press it to the right. Set the seam. Press it to the right. Set the seam. And press it to the right. Whoop. Now the next row is going to be pressed to the left. It's because you want to nest your seams when you're sewing it together. So, oops. Set the seam. Press it to the left. Set the seam. Press it to the left. Set the seam. And yes, I have to keep telling myself this because I'll mess it up if I don't. Now you can set all your seams at once if you want, and then press them. And I'll show you what happens. So these are going to be nested. This one's going to go that way and that one's going to go that way. And it's going to make this little connection here lay flatter when it's turned the right side up. So that's why you want them to go in different directions. Okay? So we will put these together and sew them on the machine. Okay, so now we're going to sew these two sections together. I sew mine sections at a time, so. And I'm keeping this open because my machine was doing something not quite right, and I did not like it. I wonder if it's because it's computerized and I had this over. I had some of the tape over the presser foot. I don't know. Never had a computerized machine before. So, We will see what happens. Those two put together, and those are pretty good. See how my squares are pretty for a beginner. Oh, a beginner. Yeah, you want to, when you're sewing them, you want your seams to go in one direction so you're not running over them and causing them to get all bunched up like I did. That was my fault. All right, that's pretty good too. Lined up pretty good. That one's a little bit off. Okay, so now we will go, no, I gotta find out how I can put these together. I'll be back. Okay, now we're going to sew these two big pieces together. And then we'll have our big panel, and then we will put the foam on it. And all you're really going to do for the foam is iron it on. If you got iron-on foam, if not, then you sew it in or spray it on. You can spray it on too. So what we will do is we will trim this up. Whoops. We will trim the edges up so it looks more square than what it does. And then we will take this and we will cut about 1/2 inch off of each side. And then we'll trim this top up, okay? That way we'll have about a 13-inch tall bag by about 16 inches wide. If you want yours bigger, that's fine, but that's how I'm going to do mine. So let me trim this up here. So now we are going to put our foam on. And like I said, you can iron it on or you can spray it on. So I'm using Annie's Soft and Stable on mine. So I will go get that and I will put that on. Just follow the directions on how to put it on if you're gonna iron it on. If you're gonna spray it on, you want to do a little bit at a time and kind of take a brayer or a roller and roll over it where you stick it down, and make sure you let it set for maybe 15-20 minutes so it dries. Okay, I'm gonna put my foam on off camera and then I'll show you how we're gonna finish this up. Okay, now what we are going to do, I've got my foam on here. So what you wanted to do was, I forgot to tell you, sorry. You want to keep it out of your seam allowances, especially if you're sewing on a domestic. So you want to cut 1/2 inch off all the way around. And I don't think I quite have 1/2 inch cut off of here. But we'll be okay because I'm sewing it on my, I'll cut it out when I sew it. So we're going to take this and we are going to flip it like this. We're going to flip it like this. No, we're going to flip it like this, sorry. We're going to clip it. And you'll want to get some big clips. So you're going to want to even it out at the top. And clip it. And you want to put a big clip down here. One here. One here. And one over here. Well, move it up a little. Do I have a bigger one? There. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut a square 3 inches. Because we're going to box our bottom. No, we are going to do 2 inches because this is not the large size. Sorry about that. We're going to do 2 inches. So get your square ruler and you're going to want to mark it on, lay it on the 2 inch mark here. And you're going to make a mark. So it's square like that. And then we're going to cut that out. I may have to use. Okay. Is that right? No. Okay. Get your scissors. Cut that out. take this. And we're going to flip it. So as you can see here, I've already started quilting this side. And I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is for beginners, but anybody can watch it. I'm going to show you how I did my lines. So I take an air erase pen, but you want to be quick with it, using it between your marking and your sewing. So I do a little section at a time because the ink disappears. And because this is dark, I'm also using chalk. Now you can strictly use chalk if you've got all dark fabric, but I don't think this chalk would show, well, I know the chalk wouldn't show up on the white. It would probably show up on this lighter and the dark, but not on this white here. So what I did here is I lined it up with this line right here, and I just drew my line. You want to take a long quilting ruler or some kind of long straight edge mark where you can mark off an inch, or you don't have to make your pattern like this. You can do any kind of design for your pattern. Then after that, I'm going to come this way. So I laid the edge on that line I just drew. Or no, I laid my 1 inch mark on that line I just drew. And then here, I just marked it at an inch mark, and then took my chalk and did that. And then you just keep going across like that. It's at an inch. You can make them an inch, inch and a half, half an inch. Or like I said, you can do any kind of design that you want. You can do the free motion quilting if you're an experienced quilter and are comfortable with doing that. I have not tried free motion quilting. I've got all of the little tools to do it. I just haven't had time to sit down and work on it yet. So like I said, I do a section at a time, and then I'll sew it. I'll sew that section, and then I'll go back and mark the other section and do that. That way my my ink mark isn't fading away as quickly. And all you do is use a regular straight stitch on this. So nothing fancy, just a regular straight stitch. Go across, go across, go across, go across. And then when we get it all done going this way, we'll take it and we'll go this way to make the diamond shape. So I am going to go sew this on my machine, and I shall be right back. Okay, so I got this all quilted in the diamond quilts. I think that's what you call it. I don't know. So I took my lining fabric, or what I'm going to use for my lining fabric, and I laid the piece out, and I cut it just a little bit bigger than this. And I'm going to take my rotary cutter, and I'm going to cut the lining piece out according to the main body piece. So as you'd guess, there is no pattern to this. So I guess you could say it's a free pattern. Oh, I got to get that light changed. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to do this. And I'm not going to put any interfacing on my lining. I'm just going to leave it loose and limber. I'm not going to put any pockets in either. But if you want to put pockets in yours, you can. That's fine, if you know how to do those. So now I'm just going to cut these out, squares. Okay, so now take this and put it off to the side, and what you want to do with this is you're just going to fold it up. Let me go get my clips. Oh, they're right here. And we're just going to, I'm going to clip this up here just a little bit. Oh, you know what? I want to do my handles. So for my handle, or handles, I am going to measure out about 30 inches. Pin there. Inches. Is that going to be too big? Maybe no, that'll be okay. 30 inches. And you can make your handles any way you want. I'm making mine out of webbing, so I like using webbing for my handles. That's the thing I started doing, so gives the bag a little extra voomp. So you want to cut 2 of those because you want one for the front and one for the back. I'm going to burn my edges off on both sides. You just want to take a lighter and melt your edges, but make sure you move it back and forth so you don't catch them on fire. Or make them black, especially since they're white. Okay. So I am going to measure in 1, 2, 3, 4 inches and put a clip there. And I'm going to lay it on that side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 inches, and put a pin here. So then I want to do this. to clip that like that. And this is basically going to be a shoulder strap type bag because I like those. And then you'll stitch across here at about 1/8 of an inch. And then you'll do the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to my machine and I'm going to stitch at 1/8 of an inch right across here and right across and right across here. Okay. Okay, so you want to keep your handles in here like this, and you're going to take this and you're going to fold this side up to there, and you want this line to be your center of your bottom. So you're going to fold it up here, you're going to match everything up. I am just going to put two clips up here just to keep them, just to keep everything even. Then you want to clip along the sides. And we are going to sew at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance on the sides. Just right here, okay? So let's take this over to the, got a broken clip. Take this over to the machine because it's cold outside. It's like 37 degrees here in Michigan. Okay, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now, if you have a domestic, I recommend that you trim some of this foam out of here. I would trim about 3/8 of an inch of the foam out, and then when you sew it, I would ride your presser foot right up, or ride your needle right up against that foam, because, but if you know that your domestic can handle foam, then by all means go ahead and use foam, but there are some domestics that can't handle foam. You can use fusible fleece for this too. I just chose to use foam, so if you use fusible fleece, you should be okay on the domestic. I think that's what I would recommend for a domestic, is fusible fleece, unless you know that your machine can handle the foam. Does that make sense? Okay, got that side done. This side. Okay, this camera, I'm gonna throw it out the window. So I boxed my corners. So what you want to do is you want to match up your center seam on your bottom with your side seam. You want to butterfly these open, this open, and you want to squish it down so it's straight across like that. Then you're going to sew at 3/8 of an inch, and then right next to it, you're going to make another line that's 3/8 of an inch towards the bottom. Can you see that? There's two lines there. The reason that is reinforcing your corners, because a lot of women put heavy things in their bag, or they carry a lot of stuff in their bag, and that reinforcement just makes it secure so the side doesn't bust out there. You want to do that on both of your boxed corners. My camera shut off, sorry about that. So now we're going to turn the bag. Push your corners out. See what a nice corner that is? Push your corners out. And there's your bag. Isn't that cute? I like that. It's small, but hey, it's cute. So now we're going to go work on the lining, and then we should be done. And like I said before, if you want to put pockets in your lining, that's fine. I'm not going to. I'm just going to have a plain inside for mine. So let's get over to the table and I'll show you how to cut out the lining. So the lining is fairly simple. We already got it cut out and everything. Let's see. So if you want, you can put interfacing on yours. I did not do that for mine. So you're just going to fold it up, put some clips on it, and you're going to do it the same way that we did the outside. Put clips on it, sew up both the sides, and then box your corners. And when I sew this, I start at 3/8 of an inch up at the top, and then I gradually get to about 1/2 an inch to 5/8 right here, and then I taper it back in to 3/8. That makes the lining fit a little bit more snug. Okay, so we got the lining all made. So we are going to keep this lining inside, or inside out, yeah. And we are going to take your bag and you want to squish it. Make sure its straps stay down. And you want to stick it inside the lining. So the wrong side of the lining is going to be on the outside. That way the right side of the lining and the right side of the bag is going to face each other. Then you want to take the seam and you want to, you may have to pull on it a little, but that's okay. Butterfly your seams and match your seams up and clip them. going to do that over here too. Do the seams first, and then you work on the middle part of the bag. Make sure you pull that lining up even with the edge. And keep your straps down. Definitely make sure that those straps stay down. And just clip and push down, clip and push down all the way around. You may think it's not going to work, but it will. Trust me. Famous last words. Trust me. Rip off some of these strings hanging. Now, if you do find out where your lining is too big, because sometimes when I do mine, my lining ends up way big. I don't know why. I just take it off and take my seams in 1/4 of an inch on both sides at a time until I get it right. Sometimes I have to do it twice. Sometimes it works out the first time. Sometimes it doesn't. You'll find out if it gets bunchy up here and it looks like it's not going to fit, just reach inside and kind of tug it down a little. Tug the bag part down a little. And it's also going to look a little bunchy because it's quilted, so that's another thing. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't leave a hole. We need to leave a hole here so we can turn the bag. Yikes! Let me go unpick that. Sorry about that. Should be about 6 to 7 inches big. About that big of a hole to turn. Okay, I took my table off. Excuse my mess in here. Because I'm going to use this so I can go around the bag better. If you have a flat bed, then you're going to have to probably sew it like that on the inside. So I'm going to start on the side here. I want to start on the seam. I'm going to use a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I got my walking foot on. I'm going to 2.6 is what I'm going to do my top at. Here we go. I'm going to trim this down. Trim the top down to about 1/8 of an inch. Crappy scissors. Oh, we're going over that webbing, that's why. And these aren't very good scissors, they're my older ones. Careful not to cut your seam. Okay. Oopsie. I'll pick that up later. Now, find your hole and pull your bag through that. Find the hole in the side. Pull your bag through that. Gently so you don't rip anything. Ooh, yay. So now this is kind of folded like it needs to be, since we, a lot of people I have known or seen, they will go ahead and sew that up and then rip it out, because what it does is it helps to make a fold. That way you don't have a hard time making the fold on your own. Does that make sense? I mean, it did it. It made a fold where I don't have to mess with it. Yeah, it makes a better fold. I'm going to do that from now on. Accidentally sew that hole up and rip it out. That's a good idea. So then you're going to sew that across there as close as you can to the edge without going off. And make my knot. Oh, make my knot. Okay. So it'll look like that. You want to stuff this down in there? See how it'll look. And we're going to turn these over. I'm going to turn those under. Oh, we're going to go this way. Just remember that when you have it on there, you want to make sure that your straps stay out like this, so you can run over this part, okay? So let's go into the other room and I will do this on my industrial. All right, here we go. Wish I would have put some pockets in it now. Oh well, I can do another one. I need to buy some more fabric. And get a charm pack that's already cut up, so I don't have to cut it up. Okay. So I'm going to cut these off and burn them. Cute. Cute, 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 cute. Yeah, that is cute. So cute. Yeah. Oh, what's that? You know what? I think I'm going to put put a button on here and open that back up and put a little cloth hook type hoop so it can close and the hoop can come around the button to keep it closed like that. Oh, yeah, it's cute. You can even put a zipper in this, but I wanted to do something nice and simple and quick. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you sewed along with me, thank you. If you're going to save it for later, I thank you. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video, and put a comment down below if you like this video, or if you think I can improve on anything, or if you have any ideas for any future videos that you would want to see. Okay? You have a good afternoon, everyone. Bye!